All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to make a quick video here. So somebody was asking me to put some link in descriptions for what my gearing is looking like from a pre-arena BiS to a final form phase 1 BiS, right? So I'm working on it right here, but really it's best looked at over here with the talent trees and everything. So as far as the gear is concerned, this is your theoretical what you want before you go into the arena, but that's not going to be realistic whatsoever because this neck is like 25 badges of justice. This bishop's cloak is like 25 badges of justice. There aren't really Karazhan alternatives for this very much. It's like the Red Riding Hood cloak, but good luck getting a Red Riding Hood cloak. And even then, this one has more MP5, so it's kind of a bit better. This is another 25 badges of justice over here. This is a Magtheridon head turn in. You'll probably be using the Karazhan reputation trinket. My bad, ring until then. Either the plus healing one or the spell power one. Either one is technically fine because criticals. One's got spirit on it rather than MP5. We prefer MP5. The other one has critical strike rating but less plus healing and no spirit on it. What else is there to say? You want to get this shield out of Karazhan. It's relatively easy to get for some reason. It's got a lot more armor and MP5, and you don't have any other good plus healing shield options. Like in phase 1 period, there's no gladiator weapon plus healing shield. Doesn't really exist. So this is kind of just your BiS healing shield for right now. Gavel of Pure Light is, I do believe, Shatar reputation. Yes. So that's like run Botanicas until your face melts off reputation. This thing is incredibly good even when compared to the Gladiator weapon over here because the Gladiator weapon has significantly more stamina, noticeably more intellect. It's got like 75 or 76 more plus healing. But this weapon over here still has 8 MP5, so you're going to want this weapon whether you like it or not. So you might start a fight with this weapon, but as your mana drops lower and lower, your enemy's mana drops lower and lower, you might get into this one just because it has 8 damn MP5 on it. MP5 you're going to find is one of our best stats by a country mile. All this stuff is reputation gear, so it's honored with Cenarian Circle, Lower City. I think Shatar might actually be one of them. And then it's Honor Hold. The Eye guys, I forget their damn name. Not Violet Eye, like Keepers of Time. There we go. Then what are we doing? Honestly, that's about it. We basically just want as much plus healing as we can get our hands on, and we want 1 second. All right, cool. Continuing. What the hell was I on about? Lol. Yeah, MP5 and plus healing. Right. So we have this weird stat prioritization where basically we want to get as much HP as we kind of need. I've noticed that because our talent points are the way that they are, we get coded / flagged as a prot paladin in the arena. So we tend to not get focused on in general, which is kind of meaning that my 11,000 hit points is kind of fine to come down like a couple hundred hit points just because of how thick we are anyways, like in the grand scheme of things. So this is fine. We're enchanting here, so we have plus 20 healing to rings. Let me make sure we're still in the game here. It's not saying anything. AFK? Okay, whatever. We got plus 20 healing to the rings. We've got, of course, the stamina, spell power, enchant on the legs. Boots is bore speed for obvious reasons. We got the what the heck is this thing again? Right, this is the Honor Hold plus healing MP5 enchant for Helm. Then we've got the you can be Scryers or you could be Aldor. The differences in this enchant right here are very minor. I think this enchant just has a little bit more plus healing or MP5. So it's like Inscription of the Faith. That's what we have on it right now. But what is the other one? Oracle, mana regen, healing. What do you mean, like MP5? Like what the hell do you mean mana regen? Okay, that's fascinating. And 22 healing. I think this is Scryers. Yeah. So the Scryer's one has more MP5, which is really good, but it has less plus healing. So I suppose in retrospect, the Scryer's one might actually be better than the Aldor's, but it's like it's not a big of enough of a difference to really make a difference. Either or is perfectly fine. Is what I'm saying. What else is this? Yeah, 6 to all stats, and then we got plus healing to gloves, plus healing to bracers. Of course, we got plus healing to weapon and stamina to shield. We do have our uh, yeah. The jewel crafting trinket. I'm really bad about using this, so I think I'm going to write a macro that basically says if I'm bubbling, I'm also activating this trinket. Because I can't think of too many situations where I would bubble and not want this trinket active, either offensively or defensively. So I'm probably gonna have to do that because I'm terrible at using this trinket in the arena. Then you have the Blessed Book of Nagrand. You get this from the Hermit Nessing Wary's final quest thing, where basically you kill the elite elephant, and this is one of your rewards for this. I don't actually have this in game because I guess I thought it was a trinket or something and disenchanted it. And item restore doesn't apparently think this thing exists, so I'm basically stuck using the Skullomance one for now. There's an even better one in Naxxramas if you have access to it, I think, but it's like whatever. The other books that are actually really good, possibly, are damn it, what the hell? Is Librama Light? No, not Grace. I think it's Grace. Yeah, so in AQ40, damn it, man, let me cough. Holy crud. I keep trying to make this video, but I keep having to cough. I don't know what's going on. Maybe I'm getting sick again. All right, let's go over here. Move that guy. Go over here. Back over here. Okay, cool. Yeah, Librama Grace is kind of interesting because if you have to do, if you're doing 2 cleanses in 10 seconds, it's worth like 20 MP5. But if you're doing like more than that, like 4 cleanses in 10 seconds, which neither of those is unreasonable under a lot of combat circumstances, it's going to be closer to like 40 MP5, and that's when Libram of Grace really starts to be worth its weight in gold. Then we have Libram of Light, which of course is the best one possible. That's just out of Naxxramas, but there's no real other options. It's like get screwed basically. Those are really the only really books that you're interested in. There's one that you can buy for gladiator points that basically says increase the resilience of your target by 26 for 6 seconds. That's kind of useless. Not only is it useless, it's kind of a waste of arena points, so basically stay the hell away from that. Eventually you get this thing, which is basically your BiS, but that's like phase 4, so you basically get screwed other than the grand one or the other trinket. There might be some good ones in here. Resilience on Holy Shield activation is not the worst thing in the world. But yeah, you're kind of screwed for a long time. Holy Shield, Vengeance, yeah. So no real good Librams. Make sure you get the book in the ground. Let me pause the video again. God, that's pissing me off. Suppose from your perspective, nothing's happening, but what's happening is I cough, then I have dry throat, then I drink water, then I have to cough again. So there goes the water. Okay, so this is your theoretical pre-arena BiS. Better reality of the situation is you're going to have some arena point pieces, and then you basically have to decide, are you going to go ornamental for your arena gear, or are you going to go lamellar? Either of those is perfectly fine. In fact, lamellar might be a little bit better. Okay, so either is perfectly fine. I talked about this in previous videos. It really depends on if you're into dueling or not. If you're into dueling, then go get the ornamental because it makes your Holy Shock dueling spec, best dueling spec in the entire game online. However, the 4-piece lamellar will be getting you your much faster Hodge stun. So it's kind of like, pick your poison there. Damn it, man. Let's talk about gems. So the gemming is slightly different between the two builds. I guess it's not really minor. So gemming is slightly different between the two builds. So we've got stamina, stun resist gem in the helm, and then we got our jewel crafting plus healing gem for the set bonus. Set bonus I do believe is resilient, so it's like, okay, that's cool. Our bracer and our shoulders are like a dump stat for gems, and so they're basically just socketed with stamina. So we got the 18 stamina gem here. We got the 15 stamina unique gem here that you can get off the auction house. And then we got like another 12 stamina gem in the bracers. We also have stamina gems in the chest, except the yellow slot is being taken up by the critical strike jewel crafting gem. Some interesting things on this. That way we have 3 jewel crafting gems, right? 1, 2, and 3. I did the math on critical strike for this Holy Shock Paladin, or this Holy Paladin in general with Illumination. Basically, every 2% of critical strike is increasing our healing by 1%, and is reducing the cost of our spells by 1.2%. Since we're mostly going to be using Flash of Light and the arena gloves have a 2% chance for our Flash of Light, 2% increased chance for our Flash of Light to crit. And if we scroll down in like final form here, you can see where's spell at. There we go. You can see that we're going to be close to like 20% critical strike with this gear. And of course over here we're a little bit less than that, but we're still close enough to 20% critical strike that I'm just going to say we're at 20% critical strike, because you're going to have a few pieces of arena gear here and there, like very, very quickly with this build. What that means is that your critical strike is increasing the Flash of Light healing by 10%, and it is increasing, reducing the mana cost of your Flash of Lights by 12%. That's basically what's happening there. So that's kind of why this gem is here in general. We don't actually need anything else, and 12 critical strike rating is not the worst thing in the world. If I take it off, it's not worth much. Like you can see, our spell crit down here is like 16.59. If I just click the none button, we lose what was that, 6.59. So yeah, so we lost a little over like 0.54% crit, like whoop-de-doo. But since we got nothing else really going on, we might as well throw it in. Jewel crafting, blood amber, spell crit, yeah. Damn it, man. Am I getting sick? What the hell? Alright, well, we gotta press on. Let me drink a drink of water here. Alright, let's look at final form. So final form makes a few changes. First, let's look at the stats. You can see that we're very close to the 11,000 HP that I've been theorizing is like our HP breakpoint. It's somewhere around there, so 10,825 HP is going to be more than enough. By the time you put on a couple of our pieces of arena gear here, that's going to pump up to 11,000, and that's perfectly fine. This 9,288 mana bar is thick as fuck. That is amazing. We love seeing a mana bar like that thick. But really the tail, the real stat that shines out here is the plus healing and the MP5. Wiggle, wiggle. So our plus healing here is 53. That's quite a bit. Our spell power, wherever the hell it is almost 1,200. We'll talk about spell power and spell power breakpoints for Flash of Light here in a second, based upon my arena experience. Let's just go look at final form really fast. Alright, so final form. God damn it, man. Let me pause the video and cough for reals. God, so annoying. Okay. Right, final form. So our MP5, I think, is virtually identical, or it's even worse because we're not using a gavel of pure light. So we have 53 MP5 over here with a gavel, and it's 8 MP5. And then over here we have 51, but with a gladiator salvation out of gavel. So this is kind of making me think that the gavel might actually be really good, because 8 MP5 is a big deal. Gavel of pure light. Okay, cool. So if I put on a gavel of pure light, you can see that our HP is actually quite low now. HP is actually quite low, but still probably perfectly serviceable for the arena. Like this is a really thick paladin, especially considering that you have like Argent Defender and stuff like that. Your MP5 is now going to be like 100 with your Blessing of Wisdom. That's actually insane. Mana bar has not gone up all that much, so what exactly has changed in this gearing in the grand scheme of things? Well, first off, this build is wearing Lamellar gear, so compared to the ornamental gear that is the rep reward gear. So we're expecting stats to be a little bit different. God damn it. We press on. Pause the video again. What the hell? Just one of those days, I guess. Damn it, man. Right. Gemming has changed. We now have almost no stamina gems whatsoever. We still have the exact same stamina gems in our now gladiator shoulders. No, the gems have not changed in the helm whatsoever. Enchants have not changed whatsoever. But the chest piece is now full of a purple, 9 healing, and 2 MP5 gems, 2 of them. The critical strike gem is still here for what it's worth. And then we have another one of these gems in the bracers. And the reason for this is because the Lamellar gear is giving us a considerable amount of additional stamina, and we basically traded that additional stamina, not so much for plus healing, but for MP5, okay? So if I was to swap these pieces out with Ornamental, our HP stat would drop too low, and then I would have to start gemming stamina instead to bring it back up to where it is. My plus healing would look noticeably better. My mana bar would be noticeably thicker. Like we can do that here in a hot second, right? Mana bar would be noticeably thicker, but what would really suffer would be MP5. Specifically, we'd be missing like 6 MP5. Whether or not you think that's a big issue or not, like, you know, it's like, pick what you want. But if you're doing the Lamellar build, this is basically how you would go. If you were doing the Ornamental build, you'd probably have to gem some stamina to get your stamina up to low, but still firmly within the 11,000 HP mark. Alright, let's look at stats. Plus healing is barely moved. So if we go over here, we see that we're almost at 1200 plus healing, and then when we're fully geared, we're also almost at 1200 plus healing. But the MP5 basically went up by 6. Mana bar got a little thicker. The big stats that change that are kind of hidden is a little bit more critical strike, a little bit more resilience, and a fuck ton more of honor. Like, holy Christ, more honor. Look at the stat differences here for a second. We'll go Gladiator, Lamellar, Helm. Let's compare Ornamental to Ornamental, okay? So you can see the green at the bottom right here. We gained 311 armor. Like, that's fucking massive. Like, the armor literally goes up by like 33%, like 32, 31% increase in armor on one of our items. Like, what the hell? Like, that's probably the biggest stat increase. 18 stamina is absolutely nothing to scoff at. 8 intellect is kind of on the low side. Is Lamellar more armor? But okay, a little bit more stamina. Okay, but almost. I lose intellect. That's interesting. PvP resilience plus 12. Spell damage done. Okay. Yeah, 12 PvP resilience. Like, why? Maybe it's the gems? No, it can't possibly be the gems. You just gain more PvP resilience. Critical strike rating 20. Yeah, you gain 12 effing resilience. Holy shit. Okay, so that's that. Let's look at a different piece. How about we look at legs? This is another one that I'm like, what the hell? Ornamental, right? There's that massive armor increase again of close to 33%. A little bit of stamina here, a little bit of intellect, a little bit of spell crit. That's actually a lot of spell crit, believe it or not. A little bit of resilience rating, and a shit ton of plus healing. Okay, that's cool. Chest is probably a very similar story. Let's do Ornamental. Yeah, a bunch of fucking armor, stamina, intellect, spell critical strike, resilience, damage done by spells, and plus healing. Yeah, so some of these stats are changing, some of them are not all that much, but yeah, it is. So, what am I trying to say here? Right. We need to talk about like healing breakpoints and MP5 and like a weird relationship. So your first port of call for your stats is basically to be thick enough that you are a non-viable burst target, and we achieve that, of course, through having a very healthy HP bar and the talents in our talent tree. The next port of call, of course, is, let's see what the resilience is. So the PvP resilience over here is 212, and then the PvP resilience over here is 250, so it doesn't go up by all that much. PvP resilience isn't that big of a stat for you as a paladin because you're in heavy armor, you're already an Argent Defender paladin, and you're very thick on HP. PvP resilience is just good. You know what I mean? But really, it's not a dead stat to you. You want some of it, but it's not a stat that you want to heavily invest in. All right, so let's go talk about this in game really fast. So this is my current gearing. In the arena, of course, I have PvP trinket, but I'm going to wear this instead because the plus 70 healing gets me relatively close to that 1200-ish plus healing that we're actually going to have. In fact, I probably should try to put on something to make it even thicker if I even can. I don't actually think I can. I think my other trinket is in the bank of all places. Like, ugh. Anyways, why? Because I'm missing the stupid book of Nagrand, so I'm missing like something like 20 something or odd plus healing on the book, and that's just going to be my life for a while. And then this thing is already missing like a 12 plus healing, so this is like I'm down like 30 plus healing. Really sucks. Anyways, you can see that I'm still way too thick. Part of the problem is I haven't bought an arena chest piece yet. As far as honor goes, I've got 1400. I'm just going to sit on it for this week because I know what pieces I want. The first piece I wanted to get was a gladiator helmet. The next piece I'm going to want to get is gladiator chest. And then the third piece I'm probably going to get is the gloves for the 2% crit or the legs, just because they have a bunch of additional stats on them. Either one is perfectly fine. We'll see how the arena points kicks out. But I'm a little thick right now because I'm not gemmed properly here, and I only recently made the executive decision that I'm going to get rid of like the 10 these bracers here. I'll probably just buy a new pair of bracers and socket them with that purple what was it, spell power MP5 gem. These, of course, need to become 2 purple MP5 gems and 1 yellow spell critical strike gem. And then that plus 100 health enchant needs to be a plus 6 to all stats. Once I buy the arena piece, that's exactly what's happening here. You can see I have the PvP chest on right here. No idea why it has 15 spirit on it. Probably because I enchanted it while leveling enchanting. But if you're PvPing, you basically want MP5 out your ass. I would actually swap these gems out for the purple ones. I think these are just super cheap. Yeah, you get the purple ones that are like 9 plus healing and then 2 MP5. That's kind of your PvP build. Is every gem slot is basically just MP5, MP5. All hail MP5. Everything else is pretty good though. So we only got 1 arena piece here, and everything else is exactly what we saw on the list, with the exception of no Magtheridon's head yet. So we are using spell critical strike. I actually misclicked and picked this thing up instead as far as the quest, so we're just stuck with it. But spell critical strike synergetically isn't the worst thing in the world, especially the other ones like plus healing and spirit, and spirit doesn't synergize as well with you as you would think. Anyways, let's talk about Flash of Light and my experiences in the arena so far. So, current MP5 is 86. If I actually put a mana oil on, I would actually be at appropriate levels. Let's see if I can go get a mana oil really fast. But the TLDR, from what I'm seeing in the arena, is quite fascinating. So, around about 1100 plus healing, I would say. Because when I throw on my PvP trinket, I get closer to like 1100 plus healing. Yeah. And from what I've seen, that's more than enough healing. Like, it's actually a little bit too much healing for the incoming DPS in the arena. So somewhere between like 1,000 plus healing and 11 plus healing, your max rank Flash of Light becomes more than serviceable to keep your arena partner alive. You only end up holy lighting if you've got if you're just coming out of a CC train being run on you, and your arena partner's half life and you got to heal him up. Or if you're trying to counter like a double DPS burst, outcome your holy lights. But other than that, Flash of Light is basically just the way to go. I ran way too far. There's a mailbox all the way back here. Right. But if we go to even higher plus healing numbers, like 1200-ish plus healing, even 1100 plus healing, could start doing this. But around about like 1200 plus healing, which is what we have here, we can start downranking our Flash of Light by at least 1 rank. And when you downrank your Flash of Light, what ends up happening, because of mana oil around here somewhere, what ends up happening is what's it called? Yeah, someone sent me the thingies. Where are they at? There should be mana oil. Cultists, hoods. Damn, this is like a blast from the past. Well, that's actually not that far back. Sheesh, there we go. Mana oils. Thank you. Okay. So, when you downrank your Flash of Light by 1 rank, its mana per healing efficiency goes up by like 20%. We're going to showcase this here in a hot second. Let me get a mana oil on because it'll simulate having a Magtheridon ring. Having an actual Maggie ring. And better gemming. Yeah. Okay, cool. So now we should have close to that. Yeah, 100 MP5. Not quite there yet, but we'll get there. Okay. So if I start healing, my FOLs are going to be like 1100 on the low end, somewhere around like 1130, 1140, something like that. We'll say 1140 at 1200 spell power. Damn it, man. We press on. Damn. Okay. Let's pull up 3 calculators so we can look at what downranking our Flash of Light looks like. And then we want one more. Okay. So as we saw there, it's about like, we'll say 1140, but we got to do some math. Keep in mind we've got like that 20% critical strike, and what does 20% critical strike do for us? That's right, it increases our healing by 10%, and it reduces the mana cost of, I was going to say 1250 for the sake of my sanity. It reduces the mana cost of our Flash of Light by 12%. So our 20% critical strike with the illumination is going to increase our effective healing by 10% and reduce the mana cost of our heals by 12%. So we've increased this by 12%, and now we're going to factor in the mana cost reduction. Your max rank Flash of Light is 180 mana, and then your downranked Flash of Lights are like 140 and 115. The biggest jump being from 7 to 6. That's a 40 mana difference. And then each of the other ones are like a 25 mana difference or less. Where the hell are these calculators? Okay. Thank you. Okay. So this is for 180 mana, but we have to reduce it by 12%. So we're going to multiply that by 8, like 88. Yeah, 0.88. So its real cost is about 158.5 mana. So we're going to divide this by 158.5, and we're going to see what the mana efficiency is. So this spell right here is getting very close to 1 mana point is providing us with 8 MP5. That is an insane mana efficiency. There isn't really any other healing spell in the entire game that is anywhere near that mana efficient. I talked to a druid. I asked him, like, okay, in your current gear, what's your most mana efficient spell? He said, like, Renew or something like that. And he was like, it's costing me 400 mana to heal for like 800 a tick, and this thing will tick like 4 times. So I take this number, and then I divide it by 400, and you can see that we're at like an 8-to-1 mana efficiency ratio. The problem with comparing a hard cast heal like Flash of Light's mana efficiency to a HOTS mana efficiency ratio is that the incredibly mana efficient HOTS, of which there are some that are incredibly mana efficient and some that are very mana inefficient. This is the most mana efficient one the druid explained to me, is that you can't spam the thing. Right? So this is insanely mana efficient, but you can't spam it. It's kind of like a Priest Renew ability. That heals incredibly mana efficient. Prayer Mending is incredibly mana efficient, but they're not spammable or they're purgeable or play aroundable. Flash of Light is by far the most mana efficient spell that at the same time is spammable and of course hard castable. Okay, but let's see what the hell happens if we start downranking. So, ooh, wait, I could probably make those calculators stay, whatever. Let's downrank the other spells really fast here. By downranking, we lose, as near as I can tell, about 100 plus healing each, maybe a little bit more than that. So you can see that this is about 1,000 now. So that's 1,000 healing per heal, and this was like 1120 or something, or 1130. Was that what the heck it was? Maybe 1130? Yeah, maybe 1130. And this one is like 11. Well, yeah, it's like 1,010. Whatever. We'll say 1,010. I don't give a shit. Okay, that's 1,010. Okay, cool. All right, so 1,000. I still need the other calculator for the thingy. So that's 1010, and then the amount of mana it costs to do the downrank flash of light is 140. We got to multiply that by 0.88 though for the for the reduction. And I'm just going to divide this by 123 for the sake of my sanity. And you can see that our mana efficiency is starting to climb upwards. Not quite as much as you would think, but not an insignificant amount either. Right, so I guess max ranks are kind of fine here. This is going to start to change when you get more and more plus healing. Let's downrank one more time to rank 5. This is probably going to be where it's not really going to be worth it. But it's important to remember that... we'll talk about that in a second. What do we think this is? 870s, 850s, 860s? Ooh, maybe 850s. Yeah, about 850s, I would say. Yeah, we'll go with 850. Boom, 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 boom. 850 for 115. Okay. So I need the number first. 115 times 0.88 equals, okay, cool, 101. And then I need 850 divided by, was it 101? Fuck. 115 times 0.8 equals, no. 115 times 0.88 equals 101. Okay, fine, whatever. 850 divided by 101. Okay, cool. So you can see mana efficiency actually isn't increasing all that much. But this is kind of what your plus healing ends up doing for you, is the more plus healing you get, the more mana efficient you can get from downranking. And at about, let me think, at about 1,000 plus healing, you can't downrank, but your flash of lights are more than serviceable to keep your arena partners alive by spamming them for the vast majority of the fight. By the time you're at 1,100 plus healing, that's when you can downrank at least one flash of light rank. And then by the time you're at like 1,200 plus healing, you could downrank a second time if you wanted to get even more mana efficient. Now the real question becomes just how mana efficient is, like, what is our most mana efficient spell, do you think? So the rank 1 flash of light is 35 mana for about 350, okay, in this. And if we double that to 70, you can see that 70 doesn't double the healing. So clearly the rank 1 is going to be more efficient. For 20, the flash of light here is not all that much more efficient. It doesn't even go up by 100. So it looks like rank 1 is still our most efficient heal. But you can see that someone definitely nerfed the spell power ratio on this from Classic. Because if this was Classic, wow, man, this would be like a 600-700 heal right now. I'll tell you what. Okay, at 90 mana, what are we looking at? Does it finally become double that of rank 1 Flash of Light? Nope, it's identical to rank 1 Flash of Light, and it costs 20 more mana than 2 rank 1 Flashes of Light. So really, it's about these are your most mana efficient spells. I can do the mana efficiency on Flash of Light, but basically the only ranks of Flash of Light we're talking about are 7, 6, 5, and 1 is the TLDR on all this. So let's do the mana efficiency on a... Oh, shit. I fucked up my math. Derpa-dow. Derpa-derpa-dow. Oh, my God. Oopa-doo. Pally time. What did you do? I forgot to buff those numbers by the 10%, didn't I? Yeah, that helps explain a lot. Because over here I was like 1130, and then I multiplied that by 1.1 for the critical strike, and then I was like, I'm just going to say 250 for the, oh, I guess it was 1140. 250 for the sake of my sanity, and then I ended up doing like 180 times. Like, we're pressing on with this video. This is just what's happening. 0.88, and then I divided this by 158.5 equals for the mana efficiency. But then I came over here and I concluded that it was like 110, and I don't think I multiplied it by 1.1. So that's a bit of an issue. That helps explain, because it's supposed to go up like 20% mana efficiency. So I was like, oh my god, is my math off? Like, what the hell? Thank you, Blizzard. That's very nice of you. That's going to take a hot second, so we're just going to keep plugging away with this. Maybe it won't take a hot second. Damn. Okay. 101. Let's look at those beautiful baby blue eyes. Okay. I think this was 115. This was the 101, wasn't it? Times 0.88 for the reduction. Yeah, 101. So I divide this by 101, and there we go. Yeah, there's the increase. There's no fucking way it's that mana efficient. There's no fucking way you're that mana efficient. No, this is 114. Thank God. 140 times 0.88. Okay, there we go. That's a 1, 2, 3. So this is like 1, 1, 1, 1, divided by 1, 2, 3. Okay, cool. Yeah, there's the increase in mana efficiency I was looking for. So, noticeable increase in mana efficiency. This is not to be scoffed at. This right here is about as mana efficient as the most mana efficient HOTS in the entire game, and this is making those mana efficient HOTS look like dog shit by comparison. What do you mean I've been disconnected? Like, would you F off? Like, we're in the game. Relax. Okay, so there's the mana efficiency. Thank God, we got it. And then, of course, the last one, 101, because 115, you know, blah, 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 blah. And if I recall correctly, these were like 850s or something like that, times 1.1 equals divided by 101. There we go. Yeah, I remember this. So downranking one rank is where you get the vast majority of your mana efficiency, and then downranking it again doesn't really increase your mana efficiency very much at all. But going from max rank to rank 6, like from rank 7 to rank 6, is where the real money is, and that's what we're trying to hit with our plus healing, is to at least downrank one level to get into like mana efficiency heaven, basically. And then another downrank does definitely increase our mana efficiency, but it's really nothing to write home about. And then we have whatever the hell this is at 350 times 1.1 equals, and then I got, we're lagging again? That's adorable. Fuck you. Oh, we're not lagging. Was my UU active? It is active. You're just being a cock. Fuck you. Alright, where are all my talent bars? Okay, so that's 385, and it's 35 mana times 0.88, and then we got 385, so that's about 31. 385 divided by 31. So the mana efficiency on our rank 1 Flash of Light is almost 12.5 healing per mana. But these are the ranks of light that are only really worth talking about. Max rank, down rank is significantly more mana efficient and more than serviceable to keep your arena partner alive at like 1100 to 1200 plus healing, somewhere around there, depending upon how durable your arena partner is. Another down rank is possible, but you don't really gain all that much mana efficiency. And then the only other rank really we're talking about is rank 1 for mana efficiency, and that's when the rank really gets insanely mana efficient, but it's still nothing like classic World of Warcraft. Okay, why in the flying fucking hell is any of this important? Well, how do I put this? You've probably done enough arena, or you will have seen enough arena by now, to know that mana efficiency is actually a really big deal in the arena. Like, it's a really, really, really big deal in the arena to be mana efficient. The other classes achieve mana efficiency in their own ways. Like, you have the shaman, when they're getting punched in the dick, they regenerate mana. They've got like their mana spring totem. They've got the water shield on them, which gives them a fair chunk of MP5. You can see it right here, right? 50 mana per 5, which is more than my blessing of wisdom, you piece of shit. Attacks and spells against you restore 208 mana and 3 charges, and this thing costs no mana to re-up, to my knowledge. So, really gay, but that's what they have.
Hi, how are you?
That's kind of in place of Earth Shield, though. So when they're getting their mana regeneration on, they're a little bit easier to kill. What else is there to say? But the weakness of Shaman, like we've talked about before, is they don't have an efficient single target heal from a mana efficiency perspective. Like they don't really have it. So they have really good mana regeneration if they're taking damage, but their actual healing efficiency when they're not taking damage is actually quite bad. I said it before, I'll say it again. I think it's the exact same code between Holy Light and Lesser Healing Wave for a Shaman. Like literally the exact same code. Everything about it is exactly the same. The base healing is the same. The spell power ratio is the same. It's just on a 1.5 second cast rather than a 2.5 second cast. The healing efficiency of your Holy Lights is dog ass. So I think what was that? Was a 36 hundo? Okay, yeah, there's definitely a 36 hundo. Oh god, what is that damage spread? Oh boy. All right. Well, we're gonna say 3550 for the sake of my fucking sanity over here. Okay, we can pull up a calculator on this one. So this is like they're like 880 mana for a Holy Light, I do believe. Let me check. 840. Okay. 40, and then we got. You don't. Here's the problem with Holy Light. You don't actually spam enough Holy Lights in the arena to really get the value out of your critical strike. Like sometimes it'll be there for you, and when it is there for you, it's often overhealing. And when sometimes it isn't there for you, so it's really hard to bring the value of your critical strike at play here. I'll do it like just to give Holy Light the benefit of the doubt. So I'll multiply this by 0.88, but this is incredibly unrealistic. So 740 mana, and then that was like 3550 healing. I'll multiply it by 1 by 1, but it's still incredibly unrealistic. And I do believe this was divided by like 740. Was that right? 3950. 3950, 3950 divided by 740. So this is me being incredibly favorable to Holy Light. Mana efficiency dog ass. Okay. As a general rule, your Holy Lights have greater HPS output, but their healing efficiency is like half. Right? They have like half the healing efficiency of a Flash of Light. So you're really trying to be a Flash of Light spammer in TBC because it is one of the most mana efficient healing spells in the entire game. How else do the other healers deal with mana efficiency? Druids have Innervate, and they get a fair bit of MP5 from like the percentage of their spirit gear continues giving them MP5 while casting. So that's how they do that. Actually, yeah, it's fine, whatever. We'll just keep spamming. These aren't even down ranked. These are just max ranks going away. What was it that I wanted to say? Shaman, Druid. Okay, yeah. So Druids try to use Innervate to do it, but Innervate can be purged, right? So that's kind of their issue in the arena. Also, all their hots can be purged, and if their hots are being purged like crazy, basically Druids hate purge. Let's just put it that way. Their Innervates can be purged, all their hots can be purged. If their hots are being purged, they're basically forced to do what I'm doing right now. They're almost no different than a Paladin. In fact, they're probably worse than a Paladin in a lot of ways. And they don't have a healing spell anywhere near as efficient as Flash of Light.
Is low.
What is it? Priest, right? Yeah, okay. Priest gets its mana efficiency primarily through its renew is extremely efficient, but it can be purged. It's what's it called? Prayer of Bending is incredibly mana efficient, but it can be purged. What else is it that's incredibly mana efficient but can be purged?
Not enough mana.
Incredibly mana efficient. Right, and if they're dealing with a purge thing at all, the next thing they know, they basically are stuck like being a paladin and hard casting heals, and they're not anywhere near as mana efficient either. Paladin doesn't like purges either for a few reasons. One, it's kind of hard to. Our Blessing of Wisdom's pretty mana efficient to keep up, but it is annoying watching Blessing of Wisdom get purged. We just have to spend some more mana on it. It's not that big of a deal. But really, it's about our Blessing of Protection. Our Blessing of Protection isn't really there for us as a tool to use. It's still kind of there, but it's also not there with Purge around, right? And Blessing of Sacrifice tends to get purged off, even though that's an amazing defensive tool for us. because this is 100%, 104 armor transferred to us after all mitigation is taken into consideration. So if like an enemy is hitting the target for like 1,000 damage, and they end up mitigating like 40% of it, so you only take 600 damage instead, this will transfer 104 of that 600 damage to us, the Paladin, which we tend to not care about. So that's kind of cool. But anyways, we don't like we're Purge doesn't affect us anywhere near as badly as it does the other healers, because we're using this insanely mana efficient healing spell. Let me drink to full really fast, and we'll do downrank spam while I talk here. Even though I don't have it downranked on my bars. Okay, let's put a 6 here. And let's put, should I do 7? Let's put a rank 1 here. Yeah, or maybe I should put that on 3. Rank 1 on 3. Rank 5 here. That's going to be funny. Okay, so 3 is this button. So I could probably, literally, I probably will never doing a rank 1 flash of light, but that is just sad. That is, yeah, no thank you. Okay, so I'm actually going to switch this for this, just so I have something to talk. Okay, cool. There's some other weird things to take note of. So this is me spamming downranked Flash of Light for the increased mana efficiency. There's other weird things to take note of,
still recharging,
such as me and a druid, me and a hunter friend the other day basically ran 2s. We did quite well in 2s. I went up at least 100 rating. That's not saying much. I'm still below 1500. Still learning. But he was a hunter doing like a mana drain, snake trap, viper sting type deal, and we went up against a beast master hunter druid comp that was trying to do the exact same thing, like mana war, mana drain, and we actually lost the first time. But when we requeued, we ended up rematching to them, and we'd already kind of like mentally adjusted our strategy. What we ended up doing was we spent the time to we focused on mana draining the hunter until the hunter was because the enemy hunter is they can't really dispel stuff off of us anymore. So it basically allowed me to keep Blessing of Wisdom up on both me and my ally hunter. Then at the same time, I was judging wisdom on whatever target my hunter was shooting. And I ended up doing the math on that, and it was actually quite interesting. So it costs me, like, I want to say, like, a little over 300 mana in order to seal wisdom and to judge it on a target, right? Not including the fact that we might actually, get some mana back if we hit the target, blah, blah, blah. So it's around about 300 mana to do all that. If you don't re-up the spell at all, what ends up happening is, what am I trying to say here? It ends up being almost like, let's say you just let it run its 20-second duration and fall off while the hunter shoots it. You end up getting close to like a 1-to-1 mana transfer to the hunter. It's close to like it's like 80, it's like 78 MP5 for the hunter while he's basically doing that. And if you do the math, it's very close to like a 1-to-1 mana efficiency transfer. So, but if you hit the target like once and then go back to like doing like whatever rank 1 flash of light spam or something like that, it's totally worth it to judge wisdom on target. So anyways, that's what I was doing. I was judging wisdom mostly on the druid, and the hunter was just kind of running around the Lordaeron arena, just pew-pewing him, while the enemy hunter was out of mana. What was basically happening was let's do this.
Not enough mana.
Really? That's cute. MP5 tick. Okay.
I need more mana.
Tick. Alright, just shut up and tick. Damn. Alright, anyways. What was I trying to say? Mana efficiency. I actually wasn't downranking for that fight, and that's kind of what made me want to make this video and talk a lot about downranking, because I was like, man, it would have been a lot better in that fight if we had downranked. But what ended up happening was we got the Druid's Innervate purged, which is a little bit lucky and a little bit bad on the Druid's part. Druids have put some hots on him and then Innervate himself, and the hots basically protect him from the arcane shot dispel that a hunter can do, but apparently got ripped off pretty quickly. But I'm curious if it would even matter if I was actually downranking better with my FOLs, because while the druid has mana, he has healing. The enemy hunter has no mana, and therefore he has no damage, right? But if I'm keeping, but if you stop and think about it, like let's just pull up a calculator here really quick. So hunters will have MP5 on their gear when they're doing that stuff. They'll also have Aspect of the Viper, which gives them however fucking much MP5. But what I'm interested in is how much additional MP5 am I giving my hunter under those combat conditions? And the answer is something like this, due to Judgment of Wisdom. So I'm basically giving my hunter an additional 120 MP5 that he otherwise wouldn't have. Like, what the fuck? From what I saw in the arena, it was basically like my hunter was almost never He was always at 5% mana. Like, he was just forever at 5% mana, and therefore forever a threat, and therefore forever could do things. If I had downranked, like even used like rank 1 Flash of Light more, like, stuff like that, I think it wouldn't matter if Innervate got some ticks off, because there's basically no damage coming out of that enemy team at that point. But it was really interesting to play against, because that is a top tier mana burn comp right there, right? Is Hunter Druid with Viper Sting, preferably using snake traps, possibly being a Beastmaster Hunter for the end rage and all the benefits that they get out of that, because otherwise the Hunter would be slowed and locked down and has a real problem in the opener in the arena, and the Druid is just a mana battery from hell, right? Um, Something very, but we ended up being able to beat them in a mana war just because MP5 is king. That was basically the TLDR there. Like, my Blessing of Wisdom and Judgment of Light and the sheer terrifying mana efficiency of Flash of Light basically just won the day. Um, stuff very similarly happen with enemy mages. My bad, enemy priests. So the priests are basically looking to mana burn you, right? So it really depends a lot on like like LOS and circumstance, like the arena circumstances. Like, we ran into like priest rogue, and the rogue was trying to mana burn the shit out of me in like the Lordaeron arena, and there just wasn't enough line of sight to work with, and so it worked out incredibly well for them. Although we could have played it better, like, admittedly. But then other priest rogues we ended up fighting was it priest rogues we ended up fighting in Blades Edge Arena, where there's plenty of LOS to work with. And it was extremely easy for my hunter to basically wing clip the enemy priest, and the priest can't really go anywhere, and so I can't be mana burned. And the next thing you know, our sheer terrifying mana efficiency is starting to kick in. Not to mention mana burn or Viper Sting is doing Viper Sting things, right? So yeah, really, really fascinating stuff. Other weird things to consider, although it's kind of on my radar, is this like weird little trinket here. So there's a trinket you can get in a Netherstorm quest chain that's basically like, on use effect, 1.3 minute cooldown, a bunch of plus healing, blah, 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 blah. This thing doesn't, but it's got also 10 MP5 on it. This little bastard does not share a CD with other burst trinkets for whatever reason. Like, I've tried using him with other burst trinkets. I think I've even probably got one in my bags here, unless I put it back in the bank. But I've tried like pairing it with other burst trinkets, and the other burst trinkets don't like to play with each other, but this one doesn't give a shit. So if I activate this thing, I can also activate my snake at the same time, and then it's like we're off to the races with these FOLs. Wait, these are downranked FOLs. That's a rank 1. Fuck off. That's a rank 5. Fuck off.
Can't start yet.
Where's my max rank? There it is. There's rank 7. Jesus. There we go. 1300 FOLs? Yeah, sure, whatever. Whatever. Lol. So that thing's kind of interesting just because it gives you like even more MP5, but I think you got plenty of MP5 as is, and PvP Trinket is probably better, especially since it's on a 2-minute cooldown. Right. So how do I put this? If you build your Paladin correctly for healing in the arena, okay? From what I can tell, you are one of the most mana efficient healers in the entire game. You do not give a flying fuck if the enemy has Purge or not. You do not give a flying fuck if the enemy is targeting you or not. So, for example, Resto Shaman, right? If the Resto Shaman is being attacked, he's regenerating shit tons of mana. If you don't touch the Resto Shaman, they have mana problems. Simple as. Okay? Literally, it's just that simple. Against priests, they struggle from a mana perspective against purge comps, against comps that have Viper Sting. Even mana burn's a little bit annoying for them if the positioning or the arena is not giving them a lot of cover to work with. And also depends on like the enemy, so like Mortal Strike and stuff, blah 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 blah. So they have their own like weird little list of issues. They can also be blown the fuck up, right? And then you have the druids who are incredibly mana efficient, but they also don't like being purged. They also don't much care for Viper Sting, even though they theoretically can remove it. A good hunter will use the snake traps, and then that becomes a really big fucking problem for them really fast. And then you have the paladin over here, who's basically like, yeah, I got these flash of lights that are like more mana efficient than anything else anybody has in the entire fucking game. They can't really be purged or anything. I just have to stand still and make my arena partner not LOS me. GG's. Also, I have an insane amount of mana regeneration for both me and my allies with like judgment of wisdom. No idea what your arena partner is. If your arena partner can theoretically heal, which I'm not really thinking about that at all. I'm thinking about this paladin either with an arms warrior or with a rogue personally. But in theory, if someone could heal you, you got that ret resto thing going on where it's the ret paladin's taking damage and getting healed. Next thing you know, they're regenerating mana, so that's also absolutely effing terrifying. It's possible that your arena partner could bandage you and you'd heal your mana, but that's not really necessary. Anyways, moral of the story is. Also, I've been using bubble incredibly offensively, but that's kind of the wrong terminology. It's more like defensively, offensively. So, like, if the enemy comp consists of like double DPS, right? So let's say priest, my bad, mage rogue, okay? Mage Rogue is a really good example, or like Double Dog. Double Dog basically hates Trinket Bop. They hate that with the passion of like 1,000 suns. But they also just hate your bubble and then spam heal with the passion of 1,000 suns. They hate your like double how insanely tanky and armored you are with the passion of 1,000 suns. Priest, no, it's Drew Mage Rogue. There we go. Mage Rogue is a bit of a different beast. But you can actually bop your arena partner. No, literally what I've been doing against Mage Priest. I have no idea if it's good, but it's kind of working. Is when we get opened up on by both of them, my first action is literally to bubble, like even if I'm not the focus target, and then to like bop my arena partner because they're usually the focus target. In this case, it was a hunter, right? And the blessing of protection basically takes the rogue's damage out of the equation temporarily. My arena partner is still stuck in a fucking ice cube, so in theory the mage is like blinked on top of him, froze him in place, and is now working on somebody's frost elemental and is now working on casting a frostbolt into him while he's rooted in place for the shatter crit combo. Yeah, you can just hodge stun that mage. Like he'll trinket it and get back to casting again, but it does buy quite a bit of time. That's kind of what you're into is to buy some time. Um, Often the mage will trinket and then try to spell steal the blessing of protection away, right? Because if they don't, you're just going to cleanse it off of your priest before they can get that spell cast off, basically. So throw your hodge stun before, after, really depends on what they're doing. But they have to take the time to spell steal away the bop, and when they finally do spell steal away the bop, you've got blessing of protection on your ally, which is another thing that they basically have to like spell steal off of them. The other thing that blessing of protection does in your ally is it removes the rogue stun. So the moment you basically put freedom on your ally, he can trinket the other stun if he wants to, and the next thing you know, he can like scatter shot the mage and do all kinds of stupid stuff. Or if it's a rogue, like or a warrior, like intercept and pummel and all that crap. So the mage is just having a bad day at that point. Now it costs you bubble, but you still have PvP trinket. and you kind of still have Blessing of Sacrifice to use, and the rogues basically just got like vanish, blind, stuff like that. So it's been kind of working, like unironically. We got blown up like one time, but we both realized we like misplayed it. But yeah, so I've been using bubble like very offensively against defensively, offensively, I should say, where it's basically just like I'm not even waiting for the enemy comp to run a train of CC on my ass. Like I don't want to like use PvP trinket, and I don't want to be like what's a good example? Uh, I don't want to be blinded, then I have to trinket the blind, and then I go for a holy light because I know my flash of lights aren't going to be powerful enough because it's double DPS. It's a long 2.5 second cast. By the time I get to like 2.3 seconds of the spell cast, I then get what's I blinded for the first time around. The rogue literally just like walks over to me and like gouge stuns me or some shit to shut me the fuck up. And like then what the fuck am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to like wait that out and then go for another fucking holy light when they still have like counterspell and shit. No, thank you. I literally just wait. I literally just start healing, wait for the first bit of CC to hit me, and then I bubble it, and then we're off to the races. As far as we're basically spamming holy lights and freedoms until the problem fucking solve and blessing of protection until the problem fucking solves itself, and it will go from there basically. But it was kind of interesting because that's kind of how arena goes, right? Arena is this weird mix of we have to survive against double DPS burst comps, but at the same time we need to have longevity and the ability to win mana wars against basically other comps, right? And that's basically what we're trying to do here with this paladin is more than thick enough on the HP to survive incoming enemy bursts. You can see I'm missing like almost a little less than 1,000 mana, like 800 mana. God, I wish I had like additional 800 mana. But having close to 100 MP5 is just insane. All this plus healing is letting me downrank my spells, get that mana efficiency going. Like I struggle to explain to you guys just how mana efficient Flash of Light actually is in TBC when it actually gets downranked. You'll see. You'll see. You'll see. You'll be mana warring comps that you otherwise shouldn't mana war to death, which is really fascinating. Your Dwarf Racial, of course, is amazing. Its primary use is basically just to remove poisons. Well, it does what it says on the tin, right? But really, the only real use I found for this stupid thing in the arena, because if a rogue's attacking me, I'm kind of happy. It's like, yeah, come attack me. This is hilarious. You're a funny guy. Good luck to you, sir. Is when I'm getting like snake trapped or something. So I'll like run into a bunch of snakes. I'll have like a bunch of fucking poisons on me. Oh, by the way, those stupid snakes. Okay, Hunter snake trap. Pro tip. They've got about like 100 to like 120 ish HP each. My hunter partner basically said if you have a bunch of snakes on you, turn on red aura, or if I have a bunch of snakes on me, turn on red aura, right? Like one of those things, because the snakes will attack you like 3 to 4 times and die. It's probably completely worth it to do like a rank 1 consecration, basically. 100 only 120 mana, and you'll kill the snakes in like just a couple hits. Don't even have to swap your aura. Like really really good. But yeah, so what'll happen is you'll get those snakes on you. They basically have like crippling poison on you, mind numbing poison on you, and like a 5 out of 5 dot that doesn't really do any damage. And that's when you get hit with a fucking viper sting. Yeah, you basically just yeah, stone form that. Say hell no, you stone form that shit. Other weird things I've noticed, but I'll have to ask my friends because I think I noticed this last night in the arena. I'm gonna sound like a super noob right now, so just bear with me, right? I think I was getting Viper Stinged by one comp and then like Cycloned like zero point 0.2 seconds after, and I think my mana was still getting sucked while Cycloned. So I need to confirm that. If that's actually a thing that exists, I'm basically going to have to make a macro and probably a video on a macro. I'm going to have to make a spammable macro uh, that, or start using a spammable macro that basically targets me and attempts to cleanse something, and targets my arena partner, attempts to cleanse something, then targets me, and then targets him, then targets me. and I'm basically gonna have to spam that thing when I think the Viper Sting is about on cooldown. Because the only real defense against something like that is basically to cleanse the Viper Sting, or to at least have a chance to cleanse the Viper Sting, because those fucking hunters have a chance that you fail to cleanse their stuff before you get hit by Cyclone. Otherwise, hopefully it doesn't drain your mana, because that'd be the most bullshit thing I've ever seen. Like, who the hell coded this? What the fuck? So, yeah. Anyways, mana efficiency, unkillable turd, HPS per second, blah, 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 blah. Anyways, I'm in the video here, and Data's fault, especially since we DC'd out in the game. Yeah, so notice my voice is fine now, but just at the start of the video, I was like, I fucking hate that shit. Anyways, get in the video, already long as hell, Data's fault.